Hey guys, what's up? So in this video, I'm going to be showing you my A7S III rig and how I rigged it up to be like the Sony FX3, which is one of those cinema cameras that allows you to use the Sony XLR-H1, I think, or yeah, XLR-H1, which is like a top handle that makes use of the multi-interface shoe on the FX3, which coincidentally the A7 IV and the A7S III also has, which is why this is what I normally use whenever people hire me to film. For example, if there's a company or anybody who's asking me to film and they're paying me to do it, this is the camera that I'm going to be using. So this is my Sony A7S III, and this is like my main driver when it comes to paid shoots. So I have here the top handle, which is the XLR-H1. My main microphone is the Rode NTG3, which is an amazing microphone. So yeah, I'm just currently using a half cage, and I'm using different accessories just to make it work. But I actually ordered some small rig stuff because the XLR-H1, the handle on it, it's a little bit too small to hold. So sometimes it just makes me feel uncomfortable whenever I have to handhold things. Normally I like to shoot like this, like my right hand over the handle like this and one hand over here to use to zoom and focus and stuff. But sometimes it just doesn't feel safe and right. So let's unbox what I got from Small Rig. Okay, so the first box we have here, I got an HDMI clamp for the Small Rig cage. So this is what the HDMI clamp looks like. So for the longest time I've just been using this clamp over here. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, this is just a very generic HDMI clamp to make sure that my HDMI cable doesn't keep bending and potentially break my HDMI input. So yeah, this is why I got this. So this was my previous HDMI cable. It's not really good. It's just a very simple one where you just adjust it according to how you need it. And this one, this little screw attaches to whatever cage you're using. In my case, I'm using the Small Rig A7S III or A7 IV cage, half cage, which like cuts down the weight by half. You know, because it's half. So this HDMI cable looks a lot better than the one I had before. I don't know if you can see it over there. So right here, this is the HDMI clamp, which will make sure that my HDMI cables or the main socket does not get bent or warped. Okay, and the next thing I got is an XLR cable for my Rode NTG3, because right now you can see that it's a little bit long and very unnecessary because the microphone is literally just on top. And then I usually use this with a 24mm lens. Then I can get away with just leaving it on top of a camera instead of booming it on top of a subject if you have to use a tighter lens. But yeah, I just got a smaller cable. So let's see what it looks like. This is the cable that I've been using. I think it's about 1 foot long. Look at that. The new cable is actually a lot smaller, and it's coiled too. So look at the difference. Oh yeah, look at that now. Much cleaner, right? So now I just have a very short cable and everything looks neat. Okay, so here's the important part. So here's the actual thing that we're going to be checking out. And just in case you're wondering, I'm going to be leaving links to all these things down below in the description, so you can actually check them out and purchase them through those links. Okay. So here is the actual handle extension. So right now you can see that this is the actual handle. The length is about a handspan. So now if I take this one, so this is the handle extension. It says Small Rig. All I need to do is, I think if I remember correctly, yeah, I just literally just place it at the bottom and take this Allen screw, put it in, and use the supplied Allen key. Slot it in, and I screw it in from here. Okay, so look at that. It's a lot longer now. Now I can have a better, much better feel to the XLR-H1 top handle. Yeah, feels a lot more sturdy, and it supports the whole system as well, because before you're like asking this small thing to carry the whole weight of the camera. But now that you have a little bit of support, there's metal now. Yeah, it just supports the thing in general. And it doesn't end there. It comes with this top NATO rail, so it can attach to the top of the handle. So not only will it support it from the base or the bottom, it will also support it from the top. So it's very easy to put. So at the top of the handle unit, there are 2 screws here, and there are 2 screws here. Very plain and simple. Just, yeah, place it like that. Wow, now it looks like so much better now than it was before. So now we attached the small rig extension handle, or the handle extension, and we got the cable. And last but not the least, I actually bought one extra thing here. Okay, so the last thing I have here is actually for a camera monitor, or anything that, if you want a cold shoe on the top. It's called, this one, it's called the top mount plate for Sony FX30 or FX3 XLR unit. This basically goes on top of this thing. But currently, I have a 3D printed, I don't know if you can see it, but I got a 3D printed cold shoe mount over here, which means I'll have to remove this for a second and then attach this. So the reason why I have a 3D printed cold shoe over here is because before, when the XLR unit came out, or the XLR-H1 came out, there was no small rig variants to be able to put any cold shoe on top of this. So this was the only way we had it 3D printed, and yeah, so now we have this, which is metal, which is a lot more sturdier and more reliable, and yeah, just makes you feel a lot more safe with XLR-H1 unit. So give me a sec, I'm going to remove the microphone first and remove the 3D printed cold shoe. This is very easy to remove this part. Just open the whatever XLR microphone you have, this little latch over here, and then you just screw this off. Okay guys, finally I got to remove the cold shoe mount, and I got to put back the mic holder. So let me put back the microphone over here. Just in case you're wondering, the Rode NTG3 is actually very thin. It's thinner than the actual microphone holder, so I actually had to like DIY some gaff tape to cover it and to make it a bit thicker, so this can actually be held together by this microphone clamp. Doesn't look the best, but hey, it works. So this extension handle, right, has a mounting point over here. All we need to do to attach this is literally just simply put it like that and get your hex key and just screw it in. And oh my goodness, does that look nice. And yeah, so the main reason why I got the top plate over here is to be able to put a monitor on top. So the main reason why I got this whole thing is, first of all, to make the handle a lot longer, and you got a cold shoe over here too to maybe put a wireless mic, like maybe the receiver of a wireless go-to or whatever wireless system you have. And there is also a NATO Rail here, so if you have a NATO clamp, you could put the monitor over here. But sometimes I like to put the monitor on top, but the problem is it becomes a lot taller than it has to be. So yeah, this was just a quick rundown of my A7S III setup, which I tried to use the XLR-H1 handle with, which works phenomenally because I'm using the Rode NTG3. If I were to use this with the A7S III in the olden days, I would have to use like a XLR mixer, maybe a Zoom H4n Pro or something. But now I just can record direct XLR audio into my A7S III without any fuzz. So just in case you're wondering, I am using the A7S III with the XLR-H1, Rode NTG3, Sigma 24-70 f2.8, and the reason why I chose this lens to be the lens cap or the main lens on this camera is because whenever I'm out shooting interviews or whatever, talking headshots, this just makes sure that I cover the ground from wide to tight. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this setup video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.